feels effortless. It feels like the ball is doing the work. So it looks like a rotational event, but I don't think about going rotationally. I think about going in a straight line across the circle. It weighs 7.26 kilos, but when it's leaving my hands, it weighs about 400 kilos because of the centrifugal force. So because of that, you can't fight against it. You have to let the hammer do a lot of the work. And a lot of my throws come when I don't really think about much, and I'm not thinking about what I'm doing. I'm just letting it happen, letting the ball do the work. It's a unique event. You've got to stay as relaxed as possible but exert as much force as you possibly can, so you've got to be really in control of different body parts. So for instance, I want my lower body to be violent and I want my upper body to be relaxed as it possibly can. You know what you need to do? This is going to be the one. You got this. You got this, you got this, you got this. Oh, yeah! Right, we can go home. So it originally started as a test of strength for farmers, so they used to throw sledgehammers. And now it's developed into what we see now, which is a ball on a wire with a handle, and we spin around and throw them. So originally I seen it on Commonwealth Games in Manchester in 2002, it was on the TV. And my mum, who hates me for saying this, she was really pushy when I was younger. She still is pushy, to be fair. Just wanted me out of the house, just doing loads of stuff, you know, not playing PlayStation. So I originally played rugby and my friend did athletics, so we went down to Scotstoun and we were running laps of the track on the first night and I hated it. But then we tried shot put, discus, javelin, you know, I really enjoyed it. But I found a passion for hammer and I was good at it and it came natural to me. I didn't have to work hard at it and I fitted in socially there as well. And I started winning medals at national championships and different things like that. But then I got to the age of 19 and I had to choose, was I going to do this full time or was I going to do this part time as a hobby? And thankfully I chose it as a full time, but it's hard. When I look back at it and I go, well, I wouldn't be sat here if it wasn't for my mum, because like we didn't have a lot of money. She used to work 3 jobs to keep me in sport. So she used to clean in the morning, she used to work in the school during the day, and then she used to work in after school care at night. And me, I was oblivious. I was a little 12, 13-year-old kid that was really kind of oblivious to all this going on. She then later told me she was taking out loans and everything from the bank to keep me in sport, and I'm just like, you could have told me about that at the time.
We always had to worry about the finances and how we worked. Much is this going to cost, much is that. And I used to keep spreadsheets. This is what we're going to this year, and this is how we're going to get there, and this is what it's going to cost, and what hotel do we book, and how much have we got for food, all that kind of stuff. And we eventually got there, but since just as Dad has died, it got a wee bit tougher.
There'll be times where we're like, how are we going to do this? She's like, don't know, but we've never died of winter yet. That's her phrase, we never died of winter yet. And I'm like, yeah, you're right about that. We've never died of winter. There's always a way, and she always comes up with something. Like, she just pulls something out of somewhere and just gets it done. And even to this day, like, I'll go to her a problem and I'm just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. She's like, yeah, leave it with me, I'll get it sorted. I don't know how she gets it sorted, but she gets it sorted in the end. So yeah, I wouldn't be where I was without her. This will be my 3rd one. They've been hard. I've got good memories, I've not got good memories of Commonwealth Games. So leading up to Glasgow, I never ever thought I'd get to Commonwealth Games, never mind get to it and it being my home city. So I was really looking forward to it. Had been the be all and end all for probably 5 to 6 years of my life. 18 months before it, I lost my dad, and then in that time I lost my coach in the same period of time. So it wasn't easy. It was my first big exposure of going out to Commonwealth Games. We went from competing in front of 50 to 100 people to 50,000 people in the space of a week, and it was mental. And I said some stupid stuff in the media. I was like, talked too much of a good game. And I went out and I finished dead last in the final. I threw 61 metres 3 times when my PB was 72, so I was 11 metres down my PB. So that was annoying as such, but then I used that to then fuel me on to bigger, better things. And I went out and I qualified for the Olympics the next year. Struggled for a couple of years because I was like, I've achieved everything I want to achieve and more in this sport. where is there else to go? Am I ever going to win an Olympic medal? Am I ever going to win a Commonwealth Games medal? What do I do? Yeah, but I went into Gold Coast. I was like, do you know what? I'm going to right my wrongs from Glasgow. I'm going to do really, really well. And I was in the shape of my life when I went out there. I stepped off the plane. I had 2 warm-up competitions before I went to the actual Commonwealth Games, and I stepped off the plane on the Monday, and on the Tuesday I had my second furthest throw ever in a competition out there, and I was like, right, you're flying, you're ready to rumble here. Went into the final at Gold Coast, and I was like, right, don't fuck it up like Glasgow. Don't fuck it up like Glasgow. Now, if you're telling yourself not to do something, what's the first thing you do? So I was physically strong but mentally weak at that point. I really didn't know where I was going and what I was doing with the sport. Did I ever think that spinning around in a circle trying to throw a metal ball as far as I can have such an impact on my life? Nope. Good effect and bad effect. So thankfully there's been more good times than bad times, but the bad times are bad, and I think we tend to forget the good times and what we've achieved in the sport. But the big thing for me was actually getting a balance between, okay, Chris the hammer thrower doesn't define me as Chris the person. I can be a good person, and if I have a bad day at the office, it's fine, it's part of life. It's like water off a duck's back now. Like, I used to be really, really hard on myself and really, like, you know, I'd have a bad throw and I'd have a bad comp and I wouldn't be able to turn it around. I'd be like a couple of weeks of bad training there. I'm just like, you know what, it's happened, accept it, move on, can't change it. It's building that resilience and just learning there's more to life than spinning around in circles and try to make your throw look pretty and make it land further away from where you stand.
He hasn't performed great in the last 2 Commonwealth Games, so it's kind of like a bit of his nemesis, as it were, and I think a lot of people aren't expecting him to do very well, maybe do the same thing, but I think he could also surprise a lot of people. I
like it when I'm the underdog. I like it when people don't believe in me because they don't expect anything. So that's what I like getting into the Commonwealth Games. Like, nobody thinks I can do anything. I know I can do something. Everyone like close to me knows I can do something. So building up into Birmingham, it's just like I just want to go out there and just perform to my best of my ability. And if I can look myself in the eye and say, do you know what, I've done everything I possibly can to get myself mentally and physically in the best preparation, and you do something on the day, and whether you finish 1st, 8th, 9th, 10th, as long as I've given a good account of myself, I can look myself in the mirror and I'll be happy with it at the end of the day.